I haven't experienced such a burst of love towards myself and such a burst of masculine energy coming my way in a very long time. Ever since I started to heal my femininity and work on my confidence, I have been opening myself up to so much wonderfulness. And today I want to tell you what has happened and share my story. Also, make sure to stick till the end of the video because I will be giving you 4 tips on how you can start to heal your feminine energy and open yourself up to receiving. Okay, let's get into it. So about a month and a half ago, I made a video titled How I Lean Into My Feminine Energy, which I highly recommend that you watch if you haven't seen it, because I discussed there what is feminine energy, what is masculine energy, some tips how you can actually lean into your womanhood, and I also gave you some exercises so you can start that process. I already was applying these principles when I made the video, but only after the video, I kind of got even more encouraged to do it. Because sometimes when you put everything together, you make a video, you do a little, spreadsheet of things you want to talk about, you kind of encourage yourself to think about the topic even more. And so my life, ever since that video, especially my womanhood, my femininity, has only become stronger and more beautiful. And that's what I want to talk about today, because that video was called How I Lean Into My Feminine Energy, and this is more how to heal. You might be thinking these two things are the same, but they're not, because leaning into your feminine energy is quite easy if everything is healed and correct. But let's say you do want to lean into that energy, but there's some feminine healing that needs to happen. So I want to tell you all about this. Feminism is something that I was born into, right? This is the age of feminism. And I've always said that I'm a big fan of the first wave feminism. Obviously, not even a fan. I'm thankful and grateful because the first wave feminism was all about having equal rights. We all want equal social, political, economical rights. But then I think what has happened to the kind of current feminism, which is called the third wave feminism that we're currently living in, it's almost sometimes borderline sexist a little bit and kind of puts men and women at war. I think that has also resulted in a culture where women are afraid to be feminine. We think we need to always be these boss babes, boss bitches, boss everything, and be managers and CEOs and all of that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I already spoke about that in the first video. But there's so much beauty and actually strength in the soft traits, in the feminine traits, that I think a lot of us women have oppressed or pushed down because the culture doesn't necessarily celebrate it. Like, even let's talk about motherhood. For the longest time, I looked kind of sad that I have to admit that, but it's true. For the longest time, I looked down at motherhood. I thought it's not something to aspire to, but trust me, my opinions have completely changed on that. I think there's so much beauty, so much strength in motherhood, in mothers, and all of that. I started to love myself. I started to love myself as a woman. I started to allow myself to be a woman. So in that first video, I told you the feminine versus masculine traits, and I started to apply those traits in a lot of situations in my life where I would usually be very, very masculine. And one thing led to another, and I started to really feel powerful in my femininity. I started to mentally and energetically say to universe that it is not my job to stress. I'm a woman. My job is to be at peace, to be in harmony, to feel my cycle, to just be like, my job is to receive and then to make whatever I receive even more beautiful. There have been many instances in the last month where I have received that masculine energy, and I will specifically tell you about 1 or 2 instances. So one instance was actually at a coffee shop. I was working and a waiter came over and told me that a man just wanted to buy me dessert. And I was like, what? Like what? And I was kind of surprised because the man didn't even come to talk to me. He didn't even want to like do anything. He didn't want anything back. that's kind of my point, what I'm saying and what I've been experiencing this month. The sort of masculine trait where a man just wants to give you. Now, I was really stumbled because I've never had that. Like, obviously when I've went out to clubs, men want to buy you drinks, but this is different because in a club, you kind of know the intention of a man. But this was literally just waiter came over and said, oh, this man wanted to buy you a dessert. And I was like, okay, well, thank you very much. And it was an interesting experience. Another experience this month was when a man approached me and told me that, you know, again, different sorts of compliments, wanted to get my number, wanted to immediately take me out, but literally said a restaurant that he wants me to take to. It was so weird. I've never had this experience. This wasn't like, ooh, let's hook up, give me your number. This is a restaurant, I want to take you out, blah, blah, blah. And obviously I said, thank you, I'm in a happy relationship, but thank you, bye. But it was just these kind of weird instances I've had happen to me this month. And because I'm already in a happy relationship, but I know that there are single women out there who wish to have that, I want you to watch the first video and this video so you can start applying it to your life in case you're looking to attract that masculine man in your life, or maybe you're looking to be more feminine in your, you know, in your skin. And I gotta tell you that it's the same with my relationship, which again, I don't discuss like, you know, personal details about my relationship, but the more feminine I am, the more my man gets masculine. It's just like a beautiful synergy. So it's been quite wonderful, I have to tell you. And I also mentioned the love towards myself, that has increased. I love being in my body. I love the way I look. I love the way I think. I feel like there's no obligation for me to pretend to be someone that I'm not, because I'm so wonderful the way I am. And with that being said, let's talk about the 4 things I recommend to you if you want to heal your feminine side. Number 1, identify and acknowledge your wounds. I had to have a serious conversation with myself and really dig up some childhood memories to understand, why do I view so many feminine traits as disgusting? It might sound harsh, but that's who I was. I neglected, no, that's not the word, resented feminine traits so much. And if I would be indifferent to them, that's a different thing. But I was hateful a little bit. So I had to sit down and be like, okay, there is some sort of a problem if you have so much, you know, built up against something. So I had that conversation. I understood from where directly, precisely in my childhood, this is coming from. And I healed it. So have that sit down, acknowledge those wounds, talk about those wounds with yourself. There's no way how you can lean into your womanhood and feel like a woman if you don't address the main thing that's not allowing you to get there. Number 2 is be proud and grateful to be a woman. I see so much negativity and victimhood around being a woman these days. And I know that every gender has its challenges. Obviously, you know, sometimes it's hard to be a woman, sometimes it's hard to be a man, sometimes it's easy to be a woman, sometimes it's easy to be a man. But if you live in a constant state of, it's so hard to be a woman, it's horrible to be a woman, oh, I hate my period, I hate my cycle, I hate everything about being a woman, oh, I wish I was a man, and all of that, that will not help you, because feminine energy can flow in a state where you're like, man, I feel like a woman. You know, Shania Twain said it the best, okay? Listen to Shania Twain. When you feel powerful in your womanhood, when you seek to understand it, right? Even like understanding your cycle. So many women have no knowledge of their cycle. They just know when I don't have a period, when I have a period, but it's important to understand it so you can feel powerful in each phase of the cycle. So change that language around your womanhood, you know, change it to, it's so amazing to be a woman. I love being a woman. It's the most beautiful, liberating, powerful thing ever. Number 3, how you can heal your femininity is be around feminine, strong, beautiful woman, okay? Oh, when you're around other women who love being woman, it's the most fascinating, beautiful, wonderful thing. If you're around other women who are very negative about femininity, that will only make you feel worse. And again, in case I already didn't point it out, or in case you didn't get this from this video, when I say femininity, okay, please, because I feel like some of you might take it the wrong way. I am not saying stereotypical feminine, like wearing a dress with flowers. You can wear that dress if you want to, but don't for a second think that being feminine means you have to do something specifically on the outside. It's more about this energy you have inside. So spend some time around women who share that with you, you know, who share the same values as you. And if you don't have a lot of girlfriends, I really recommend that you open yourself up to the universe and say, I really want girlfriends, because girlfriends are needed, okay? Men are fabulous, men are wonderful, but there are so many things that are so fun to do with girlfriends, okay? So that's number 3. And number 4, stop judging yourself and stop comparing yourself to other women. I have mentioned this before and I will mention it in the future as well, but there's nothing good that comes from comparing yourself to other people. Never, ever, ever, ever. And you pretty much, in the act of comparing, lose your sense of self. You start to think that in order for you to be worthy, beautiful, amazing, you need to look and be like someone else. And that completely destroys your self-confidence. And as you know, the more confident you are as a woman, the more you're able to lean into your womanhood, to lean into your femininity, okay? So you have to stop it. You have to stop it. I know we all do it. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I am perfect and don't do it. I do it, but I work so hard not to do it, because never, ever, ever in my life, when I have started comparing myself, the way I look or the way I am with someone else, have I felt better. Never, ever, 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 ever. Because we tend to compare ourselves only when it's someone who has something that we think we need. So it's just a waste of your time. It's just a waste of your time, okay? Work on yourself, build that relationship with yourself, heal your wounds, and just watch how much more feminine you can get, how much more masculinity you can attract in your life. So I hope this resonates with some of you. Let me know down in the comments. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here every week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.